Guys, it's Serena, and for today's video I'm going to be filming a how to cream highlight and contour and all that kind of video in one. A lot of you guys requested this, so I will have the person who requested this on the screen. If you guys didn't know, I give shout outs to whoever leaves a comment down below, tweets me, snaps me of a video request. I will put it like the comment on the screen, so thank you so much for requesting this video. Yeah, and then if I'm talking weird, I have to say this in every video. I'm sorry if you guys keep watching my videos and you're hearing the same repetitive sentence, but oh my gosh, there's literally people outside. Again, if you guys hear that I'm talking weird or have a slur or anything, I just got my Invisalign done about 6 weeks ago, so not just done, but like kind of recent, I guess. I will have it up in the card section right here, so be sure to check it out. For this video, we're just going to be cream contouring and highlighting. I don't have any foundation or makeup at all. I just have my eyes and brows, so I'm just gonna try to use mostly all affordable or drugstore products. Some may be high-end, but it's just kind of what I have. So I'm just gonna show you guys without rambling on. Let's just get on with the video. Okay, so first I'm going to prime my face using the Maybelline Baby Skin and a little bit of the Benefit Porefessional. These are kind of dupes for each other, so if you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on the Porefessional, just go get this one by Maybelline. I'm just gonna speed through me doing my primer and foundation just so you guys can kind of get my base on, and then we can move on to the highlighting and contouring. So after I prime, I'm going to be using two foundations. I'm going to use the Milani Conceal and Perfect in the shade Tan, and then the True Match by L'Oreal in the shade C8 Cocoa. This one's kind of too light for me, and this one's way too dark, so I'm just going to mix them together to get kind of like a full coverage look. So I'm just going to be using these on my base, and then we'll get started with the highlighting and contouring. Okay, so first I'm going to begin by highlighting my face. So by that, it kind of brightens up your face, your under eyes. I'm going to go really in depth with this tutorial, so it might be a long one, but I'm just going to be taking my NYX HD concealer. This one is so good and is very comparable to the Tarte Shape Tape. If you do not want to spend the money on this one is just as good. So I'm just going to be taking this concealer and putting it underneath my eyes, the bridge of my nose, forehead, and upper lip. This concealer will kind of highlight my face and make it appear more brighter looking. And also what concealer does, if you get it in two shades, 1 to 2 shades lighter depending on how light you like your under eye or how light you want your face to be in the certain areas to highlight, it will be a great option to get a concealer that's 1 to 2 shades lighter just to brighten up. That's basically what highlighting is, if you guys want to know. We're not at sparkly highlight yet or shimmery. We're at the matte highlight, which brightens your face, but I'm probably just rambling on by now. You guys get the gist. I'm just going to be taking this and putting it in the certain areas that I just said. So for this concealer, it kind of dries a little bit less quick than the Tarte one, so I'm just going to be letting this sit for a minute, kind of fanning it, because I don't want to go in right away blending it out. You can, but my preference, I like to wait a little bit. I've noticed that when I do it, it kind of makes the concealer more high definition or more full coverage, if you would say. Don't let it dry completely, just like maybe 1 or 2 minutes, let it get a little tacky. I'm going to take my beauty blender, just the nude one, or you can use a Real Techniques beauty sponge if you do not want to spend the money. I'm trying to give you guys a lot of affordable dupes for this video, because if you're just starting out highlighting and contouring with cream and stuff, you're not going to want to go to Sephora and spend a whole bunch of money. I'm just going to make sure that this is damp. You always want to wet your sponge and damp it and wring it out, because if it's not, it'll just be crusty and your makeup will not look cute. Okay, so once that's all blended out, another option you guys could have used if you don't have any kind of sponge or anything, you can also use a little brush to blend out your concealer. So this one is the Morphe G40. It's a super good a super good brush to blend out your concealer. You can also use this if you don't have a sponge. So just giving you guys some more options, just a variety of things. So now we're going to go on to the bronzing and contouring with cream. So for today I'm going to be using the LA Pro Girl Concealer. You guys know that these have been around for so long and they are so hyped up about, and they are so good. So I'm going to be taking the shades Espresso, which is kind of like a lighter brown to use kind of to bronze up my face, and then to really deepen and contour my face I'm going to use the dark cocoa shade, and basically mixing these together. And basically what you're going to want to do is put them on your forehead, because your forehead, you know, depending if you have a big forehead or not, that's how you're going to want to kind of see. My forehead's really small, so I still contour it and bronze it just because if I didn't it would look super weird, but it's all personal preference. So I'm just going to be taking it on my forehead, on my temples, and kind of going in a 3E motion, so like a 3E, if you get what I'm saying. But yeah, so on my forehead down to my temples, and then kind of sucking in your cheeks like this, and then you will find where you want to contour your face. So right here, and then going back down to my jawline and down my neck. You don't want to have a super dark cast right there, so you're going to want to blend it out. And for my cream contour, I'm going to be using a stipple brush, if I can find it. I'm going to be using this stipple brush by e.l.f. It's the small stipple brush, super cheap and affordable. And I'm just going to be making sure that I spray this with some like rose water or any kind of water you guys have, Fix Plus, whatever the case may be, and blending all that out. You guys can use a beauty blender for this step, but for my under eye concealer to highlight, I like to use a beauty blender. And then for the cream contouring and bronzing step, I like to use a stipple brush. That's just my preference. But yeah, so I'm just going to show you guys how I do this. So I'm first going in with that espresso shade and taking a little bit out. You don't need that much. A lot of people make the mistake of taking way too much out when you don't need that much. This product is very pigmented, so you don't need that much at all. Putting it on my forehead like this. As you guys can see, this is way darker than my skin tone, but it's not super dark to get a deep contour. So I'm just going to take this shade. It doesn't matter how you put it on. There's no fancy method. I know all the Instagram people put it on super different, but you know, however you want to put it on. I'm just going to put lines kind of like that. So you see I put some on my forehead, my temples, my jawline, and then my cheeks, kind of where my hollows are. And I personally don't like to contour my nose with cream, but for the purpose of this video, I will show you guys how I do it. So I'm just going to take a very light amount. Do not put that much. And just putting it however thin or thick of a line you guys want. And then one at the very end. And now that I have that on, I'm going to wait to put on the other color just so I can blend this out first and then go in with the darker shade. But for now, I'm just going to spray my e.l.f. brush with some rose water and blend this all out. Okay, so to blend out my nose, I'm just taking a fluffy brush. It's a little bit more denser than the usual crease brush, but it's just an eye brush. I don't have a nose contouring brush or anything. This is just from the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette. Any blending brush that will work that is like slimmer. I also have one, this is the Crown brush. I don't know what number, C321 bullet crease brush. Looks like this. This is the Urban Decay one. I also have a thinner brush from Wet n Wild. It's just like their flat brush. So any brush that you guys want to use to blend out your contour will work. So I'm just going to take the Naked 3 brush that came in the palette and blend out my nose contour. You guys can see I added a little bit. I didn't take any extra product. I just took what was on my brush. I just took a little bit and put a tiny little line across the button of my nose just to kind of make a little circle right there, and then kind of just feathered everything out and push it in with my fingers. And also a tip you guys can do to make your nose look even smaller is you can take that cream contour that we just put on and kind of just take it into your eyeshadow. And what it'll do is it'll take it kind of narrowed down so your nose will look way more snatched or whatever. I'm just going to take this LA Girl Pro Concealer again, and this one is in the shade Dark Cocoa this time. And I'm going to be taking it in the same exact places I took the lighter shade in Espresso. But the only place I'm not going to be taking this is on my nose, because I feel like I don't want my nose to be too contoured, because I feel like my nose isn't really big at all. I just like to have it snatched. So if you guys do have a bigger nose or you want to make your nose appear even smaller, I would suggest taking this contour shade and putting it there. But for me, for my face, I personally don't like to do that. So I'm just going to be taking this concealer and doing the exact same thing I did with it with the other one. So as you guys can see, I'm way more chiseled now. My face is snatched for the Blendz or whatever, but okay, so now we're gonna move on to the powder portion of this look. So basically you can use any setting powder you want. The airspun one is really good. I have that one, but that is an affordable option if you guys would like to use that powder. For today, I'm going to be using the Sacha Buttercup powder. I usually use my Kat Von D one as well, but if you guys have seen my older videos, I used to use Sacha. So what this is basically going to do is set your under eyes and set all the places that you put the lighter concealer. So wherever you put the NYX concealer or the Tarte Shape Tape concealer, you're going to want to put this lighter powder just because it will set it and make sure that it won't move throughout the day. You're going to want to go back in with your beauty blender and make sure that you don't have any creases underneath your eyes, because it would suck to set there with powder and then you're setting those creases. So make sure you're just going back in, blending everywhere that there's a crease, and then applying that powder. And then for a darker powder to set the rest of my face, since there is contour and bronzer, you don't want to use a lighter powder to set that unless you use a little bit. You can also bake with this powder, but I just stopped baking for some reason. It wasn't like really my thing anymore. I just kind of set with a little bit of powder. But now on to setting the rest of my face. I'm taking the Mercier Translucent Medium Deep Powder. This is the darker one, and basically for my skin tone this is really good because once I put this on, it'll kind of set the areas where I put my dark contour and bronzer before I put on the actual powder contour and bronzer. You're going to want to do this because if you go straight away in with like bronzer and contour powder, it's gonna kind of like look muddy and stick to all the patches on your skin because it's not fully dried yet. So you're gonna want to go in and set it before you do so. So I'm just gonna take this powder on a flat top brush and just put it in the rest of my face before I apply the contour and bronzer powder. Okay, so once we have our entire face set with translucent powder or pressed powder, I'm going to be actually taking my bronzer now and bronzing up my face. This is what I usually use in all my tutorials. Just get this is a kind of beauty hack, I guess. If you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on an actual bronzer from a brand, just get like any like drugstore foundation powder. This is in the shade W8 Creme Cafe, and take it on my Morphe M528 brush and bronze up my entire face exactly where we put that bronzer. So the forehead, temples, right here on the cheek area and the jawline and chin, the neck, and then also taking a smaller brush that I used earlier and just putting it on my nose and kind of bronzing up my nose. Okay, so now to contour your face, and bronzing is basically making your face warm, giving it color, but contouring is like really snatching your face and making it really defined in the areas that you desire. This is the Black Radiance True Complexion Powder. I don't know the exact shade. I think I took off the sticker, but all the products will be down below in the down bar. Another beauty hack you guys can use is take a dark brown eyeshadow or a cool tone one, whichever one you prefer, on your skin tone and use it as a bronzer. You can use it as a bronzer or a contour shade if you don't have a contour shade. So that's a good hack you guys can use. To contour up my face, I'm taking the Morphe G40 brush, the same brush that I recommended to you guys to blend out your under eye concealer. This brush works really well for contouring your face as well. So I'm just going to be dipping into this powder and doing the same thing I did with the bronzer, except kind of targeting it more towards my cheek area because I don't want to make my forehead look too small because it already is small. But if your forehead is bigger, feel free to go ham with this shit, but blend it out, honey. Blend it out. Then I'm just going to take my Mercier powder again, the medium deep one, and take it on my, I'm going to take it on my Real Technique sponge. And what I'm going to do is wet the bottom, so just put some Fix Plus, rose water, whatever, and dip it into the powder and kind of cut my cheekbone. So what this is going to do is make your contour look a little bit more sharper and defined. Don't go too ham with this and leave it on for too long because you don't want a harsh line right there. Just leave it on for a little bit and then dust it off. So while that's kind of baking or sitting there, I'm going to go in with some cream highlighter. And a lot of people think you can't use cream highlighter once you put on your powders, but that's not true as long as you don't use too much. So I'm so sorry guys, I only have high-end cream highlighters and liquid highlighters. So for today I'm going to be using the Fenty Beauty highlighter in Rum. It's just the match stick, so I'm just going to be using this one, and I do not recommend you putting the stick on actually, because I just don't like how that turns out, just personal preference. But for me, I like to take a Real Techniques highlighting brush or setting brush, whatever. I use it to highlight my face, like shimmer highlight. So I'm going to take this and kind of wet it a little bit with some rose water first. So I'm just going to be taking it and putting it on the matchstick like this, just getting a little bit, not too much, and then I'm just going to put it on to my face, the high points, exactly where you would if you were to take a powder highlight. So right here on the cheekbones, the bridge of the nose, tip of the nose, above the brows, upper lip, wherever you guys want to highlight. Make sure you don't go too far down to the highlight. I like to kind of stop at my cheeks right here, just because when I smile it radiates it and it makes it super pretty. But don't go too far down to your lip. Don't pass this cheek area. Right where this line is where we made, do not pass it, because then it will just look like too much, too not cute. And also don't go too low, like don't bring your highlight all the way down here, because then it will just cover up the contouring. So yeah. Okay, so now moving on to the powder highlight, I have the Maybelline Master Chrome in the shade 100 Molten Gold. This is so blinding, you guys. Like, it beats so many high-end highlighters. So this is such a pretty highlighter. It's beautiful, especially for women of color, for everyone actually. It's super pretty and I absolutely love it. Let me just, y'all see that? Y'all see that? This highlighter is so pretty and I 10 out of 10 recommend this for everyone. Also, when you're picking out your highlight, you don't want to make it too light or too dark. Obviously, I'm not going to go in with a very bright white highlight because, you know, I'm just not that skin tone. Like, it just wouldn't make sense to do. And obviously, I'm not going to go in with a super dark bronzy highlight because I'm too light for that and it will leave kind of a cast on my face. When you turn your face like to the center, you're going to want to make sure you don't have a shadow, because then that means it's too dark for you. And if you have like a bright whiteness, kind of like a flashback, then it's way too light. So you're gonna want to make sure you get the perfect color. This one suits so many skin tones, so I'm just gonna take it on the same brush I put my Fenty Beauty highlight, spray it with some rose water and dip into that G thing and just put it all over my face, y'all. Don't go too ham, you know, you don't want to look like a disco ball, but then again, you want to look like a glazed donut, so. For blush, I'm going to be taking the Milani blush in the shade 02 Rose d'Oro. It does have some sparkle in it, but you know, I kind of like that sometimes. I'm just going to take a slanted kind of brush and just put that on the apples of my cheeks and all the way up where my contour is. You don't want to just put it right on the apples because you're going to look like a clown. Sorry, not sorry. But you're going to want to blend it upwards and blend it in with that highlight and contour, just so it's not a harsh line. I think that's it, you know? I think that's it for this highlight and contour shebang bang bang. Okay, y'all, so I'm just going to go ahead and finish up the rest of my face, and you know, I will get back to you guys when I'm all done. Alright, you guys, so this is the finished look. I finished my entire face, just added a lip color and whatnot, and finished the rest of my eyes off. This is how my cream highlighting and contouring, you know, situation turned out. I love it. It's super pretty. It's so nice and it's very easy to achieve, and I try to use all affordable products for you guys. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really hope it was helpful to you guys. Thank you guys so much for requesting videos. It really makes my day because I know that you guys want to see certain things from me. So if you guys want to have a shout out in my next video, be sure to comment down below any video requests that you guys have for me. Also, don't forget to follow me on all of my social media sites: Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, Spotify. All that shit will be in the down bar below, as well as at the end part of this video, and my Snapchat will be right here, so just screenshot it to add me. Also, give this video a big thumbs up if you guys enjoyed, and why not, if you're here, if you are here, subscribe to my channel, you feel me? We're trying to reach 2K, and I know the Serena Nicole fam can achieve it, you feel me? Also, click the bell button below to ensure that you will be notified every time I post a video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video of mine, and I will see you guys in my next one. Alright, bye you guys.